Hello, thanks for watching. Andy here. Let's have a look at astrology for the next week because it's a busy week. There's a lot happening. There's the supermoon. I expect most of us are aware of that by now, but there are other things going on as well, as if that wasn't enough. Today, Sunday the 17th, the moon entered Libra. Sorry, no, it didn't. It entered Leo this morning at midnight 56 UTC. So that would actually have been an afternoon thing in the States and Canada yesterday, or an evening thing. That Leo moon means we want to be out there, we want to be seen, we want to get noticed, and we want to get our plans noticed as well. It's not just the kind of out there and showing out with Leos, there's a reason for it. And under a Leo moon, whether you're a Leo or not, that is the influence, that's the way things are going. Don't be too afraid to get out there and speak your truth. Speaking your truth is always good. Just be careful of situations where someone's going to kind of build you up and then just kind of not really support you the rest of the way, because that can happen, and that's been a bit of a theme lately. So do look out for that one. It's just not the easiest time to rely on somebody else being pliable, basically. Okay, so that's today. Let's look at the week ahead then. Monday, well, no great shakes in UK in UTC time on Monday, because with us it's 1:41 a.m. on Tuesday that the moon is going to enter Virgo, but that is going to be late night in the States, Canada, or even the afternoon. It's kind of confusing because everything that's happening this week seems to be timed kind of somewhere in between USA and here, and it's not all that easy to pin down. It's really not. But what is easy to pin down is actually what's going to happen. So whether that's Monday or Tuesday with you, we've actually got that Virgo moon. People's attention to detail goes up, basically, and we're looking for faults. It's a little bit OCD, but it's actually no bad thing, because that way we'll get some housekeeping done before we get to the full moon. And that is now the full moon, in theory, is in UK anyway. It's on Thursday morning at 1:42 a.m, just after the moon enters Libra at 1:27 a.m. It's going to be an afternoon thing, it's going to be an evening thing in the States and Canada, depending on which coast you're on. But it's definitely going to be a full moon, and it's going to be a super moon, and it's going to be a super moon in Libra. We've also got the sun in Aries that day, so there's a lot of kind of digging deep within ourselves. But it's earthy, you know, to say the very least, it's earthy, and it gives us a chance to actually work with what's going on in the planet. That is a real good thing, actually, because the same day Mars aligns with Pluto, and it's possible to move mountains then. So that's when that earthy thing really comes up and does its thing. Looking very positive, that. When we get Mars involved, it doesn't always look positive, I've got to say, but it's such a positive week. I can't see anything getting screwed up badly by this. And as I said, it's a time for moving mountains. So if you really think you can't get anywhere, you can't make anything happen, well, Wednesday or Thursday, depending where you are in the world. But basically, that supermoon setup is going to be great. Also, because Libra is involved, there's a good possibility of love coming to something, actually building up and happening over the next week or so. Maybe no bad thing, that. Some people are a bit afraid of it. I don't know. Don't fear it, though. I mean, I fear it, if I'm quite honest. But, you know, it's better to be open and go with the flow, and that's what I'm going to try and do. So that's sort of like Thursday-ish, really, late Wednesday in the States and Canada. Sorry, that's very vague, isn't it? Because there's so much going on. On Thursday in UK time, Venus is going to square Mars. Now that can be a bit of a push like that, but again, it's a positive week, and if we think it's going to be positive, the chances are it will be. If we decide, oh no, no, it's bad, might as well stay in bed, because you get in what, no you don't, you get out what you put in. That's the bottom line of it. Friday the 22nd, Sun conjuncts Chiron. Now Chiron represents the wounded healer, and the Sun, of course, represents authority, and the authority we have over our own lives, the leadership we take over ourselves. What kind of propriety, there's a word, what kind of propriety have we got as people? It's worth thinking about. And that conjunction, it's not the most positive of alignments, but it really does allow for our deepest wounds to come out into the spiritual open. It's been out in public, but spiritually to be thinking about those things and asking healing for it, because Sun in Chiron is really good. The crystal for that one that I was talking about the other day is going to be peridot. It's a great stone for healing the healer. Very small stone, tiny stone with a very high vibration because of that. So have a look around. It's quite cheap. Well, It's cheap because it comes in tiny bits. If it was big pieces, it would cost a lot, but it comes in really small pieces, which is really good news actually, because a thing doesn't have to be physically big to be spiritually big, and small crystals do have that extra high vibrational rate. That is my advice if things get a bit tricky this week, generally, at all, actually, because the alignments we're looking at and the things that are happening is they're all on the way to something around healing, something around changing things. And when I talk about moving mountains on that full moon day, that really is about getting forward in a way we never thought we could very often. Or maybe we did think we could, but not yet. I don't know. That's very much individual. Please adjust that for, whoever you are in whatever situation you're in. But it's looking good. Saturday, the moon's in Scorpio, 2:16 a.m. The colours of the world are apt to turn black and white then. You're either for someone or against something. A thing's either on or it's off. No middle ground. That's the way it goes on Saturday from 2:16 a.m. UTC. So that is actually late Friday in the States and Canada. All this is going on, and I haven't really mentioned Mercury retrograde, but it is an issue. It has actually been a lot better than we might have expected the last few days. I'm just not hearing people complaining about it, which is a good sign. Actually, as we go through next week, it's all looking pretty good as well, except on Sunday, March the 24th, when retrograde Mercury is going to conjunct Neptune. That has got miscommunication written absolutely all over it. I don't see any way out of that. I mean, well, I do. The answer to it, though, is going to be kind of take things with a pinch of salt. If someone says something to you that you can't make any sense of, take it with a pinch of salt. Keep it real, basically. I'm always saying it, but keep it real. Because that actually, on Sunday the 24th, that day, is the day when Mercury retrograde phase becomes intensified again. It's actually on its way out, but it has an intensified bit just after it goes retrograde, and another intensified bit just before it goes direct. I'm not saying she, because Mercury is a genderless planet. It's the planet of transgender people, if it's anything, but it basically has no gender directly associated with it. Okay, so Mercury is actually then going to go direct next Thursday, the 28th. So we have got a little bit more of kind of Mercury retrograde craziness going on, but it's such a great week, and I'm going to say it again. Wednesday, or it's kind of Thursday, depending where you are in the world. It's Thursday in UK, Wednesday in the States and Canada, late Thursday in New Zealand. It's not so kind of distant as all that. Okay, 13 hours ahead, basically. That is the way I'm looking at it. And so it's actually looking a very, very positive week. Just hang on to that thing that you can move mountains, because you can. I'm not going to say the chances are you can. You can. If it doesn't happen, I'm not saying it's your fault, but if it doesn't really happen, the building blocks will be in place so that it can happen somewhere further down the line. So it's all very positive in that sense. So have a positive week, my friends. I'll be around making forecasts and things as we go along, but this is the kind of the bulk astrology for the week ahead. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, you know what to do. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. I enjoy that. And don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell to make sure you don't miss anything. More coming up on Twig Brother later today, but thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.